my name is Yuuka Itoh. I am a graduate of Keisho Nihongo Japanese schools. I attended Orange Coast Gakuen from first grade to 12th grade. And yeah, I'm very happy to be here. I would say m most definitely was probably lack of motivation. And I think feelings of frustration also. I think especially when you're a kid, having to go to extra school on Saturdays, you don't totally understand why you have to do it. But I think over time you start to realize that it is kind of important. You're putting in a little bit of extra work, but in return, you're more in touch with your own culture, you get to meet new people, and I think you start to develop kind of intrinsic motivation rather than just your parents kind of, telling you every weekend, go to school, go to school, go to school. One thing that I think definitely helped, the school that I attended, Orange Coast Gakuen, does a really good job at putting on kind of cultural events. So undokai, shukakusai, natsumatsuri, things like that, that are kind of a hands-on way to interact with cultural aspects. It's just a foreign concept if you're just studying it but not practicing it. But I think having these events to kind of interact with and like learn real practical aspects of the culture, I think help. I would say just to stick with it, keep going. Pushing through it will have some long-term benefits for sure. Knowing a second language is a cool thing, like on kind of a in a superficial level, like it really is kind of a skill that's fun to have. And especially Japanese. I don't know, there's so many parts of pop culture now that knowing Japanese is kind of like a helpful thing. It's kind of a cool thing. I will also say that like while I was attending, something that was brought up to me multiple times was like if you're, currently in middle school or high school and you're thinking about college applications, doing an extracurricular, especially something like a language school for so long is definitely a pro or, something you can put on your application that makes you kind of stand out to colleges. I grew up in an area with not many Japanese people and not really many people of color. So especially in elementary school, that was definitely something I had a hard time navigating. I think especially when you're little, it feels really good to fit in. So when there is some part of you that makes you a little bit different from everybody else, especially something physically different from everybody else, it doesn't feel super comfortable. When I was, younger, it was something I was a little more ashamed about. But now, I'm happy to answer people's questions. A lot of those feelings that I had as a kid, I think they're not so much there anymore. I will say that going to Japanese school every Saturday maybe really did have a big impact on me in that way. Like I said, I grew up not around many other people of color at all, and especially not many Japanese people. So being able to be surrounded by people who either like really love Japanese culture or by people who are Japanese also, I think definitely had a very big impact on me. It kind of helps you realize like, oh, I'm not alone in this, and it's a sense of community that I was maybe missing. I've definitely learned to be a little more proud about who I am. I will say now, like, you know, not even a little more proud. I think I just am proud of who I am. I think that being Japanese is something that I've embraced in my life. And yeah, I think it's something that makes me me. So